She's standing in the center of a marble lobby. His voice carries across the room, sharp, certain, cruel. Women like you always know exactly what you're looking for. Her hand stops mid-air. The keycard trembles between her fingers. She doesn't turn around. But everyone else does. 3 days earlier, she wasn't supposed to be here at all. The charity gala had been on her calendar for months. But she'd planned to send someone else. She always sent someone else. Public events meant questions. Questions meant exposure. Exposure meant the kind of attention she'd spent 15 years avoiding. But her assistant called in sick. And her foundation was receiving an award. So she went. Alone. In a dress she bought herself. Driving a car no one would recognize. Using a name most people had forgotten. She thought she could slip in. Accept the plaque, slip out. She thought wrong. Because he was there. And he looked at her the way men like him always look at women like her. Like she didn't belong. That was the moment everything quietly began to unravel. This is a golden heart story for anyone who learned that silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Before we continue, tell me in the comments. Have you ever been underestimated because of how you looked? Diane Monroe. She is 52 years old. She wears her hair natural now. Silver threading through tight coils she stopped straightening a decade ago. She likes scarves, simple jewelry, clothes that don't announce anything. She drives a 10-year-old Camry. She lives in a modest townhouse in a neighborhood where people still say good morning. No one knows who she is. And that's exactly how she wants it. Because 15 years ago, Diane Monroe sold the tech company she built from nothing for $1.3 billion. She was 37. She was exhausted. She was done being seen. So she disappeared. She poured her money into a private foundation that funds scholarships for Black women in STEM. She doesn't attend the events. She doesn't give interviews. She signs the checks and stays quiet. Her life is small now. On purpose. But sometimes, late at night, she sits in her kitchen and wonders if she made herself too small. If she traded visibility for loneliness. If anyone would even recognize her anymore. She's about to find out. Jonathan Hayes. He is 55. Tall, graying at the temples in that deliberate, expensive way, custom suit, Swiss watch, teeth too white to be real. He owns a portfolio of luxury hotels across the Northeast. He's been divorced twice. He's never been alone. Jonathan Hayes is the kind of man who walks into a room and expects it to rearrange itself around him. And it usually does. He's charming when he wants to be. Ruthless when he needs to be. He believes in merit. He believes he earned everything. He believes people who didn't earn it are always trying to take it. Tonight, he's at the gala because his PR team told him to be. Something about optics, community, goodwill. He's bored 30 seconds after he arrives. Until he sees her, standing near the bar. Alone. Older. Overdressed in that trying-to-hard kind of way, he thinks. He watches her glance around the room like she's looking for someone. And he thinks he knows exactly what she's looking for. Diane isn't looking for anyone. She's looking for the exit. The foundation director was supposed to meet her at the entrance. He didn't. Now she's standing in a room full of people she doesn't know. Holding a clutch that suddenly feels too small. Wearing heels she hasn't broken in. She feels like an imposter. Which is insane, because she funded half the nonprofits in this room. But that's the thing about invisibility. It becomes a habit. She's about to leave when a waiter offers her champagne. She takes it. She shouldn't. She doesn't drink at events like this. But her hands need something to hold. That's when Jonathan approaches. First time? His voice is smooth, confident. Diane looks up. He's smiling. The kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. "Excuse me," she says. "First time at one of these things." He clarifies, gesturing vaguely at the room. "You look a little lost." She should walk away. She knows men like this. But something in his tone, something patronizing, something familiar makes her stay. "I'm fine," she says evenly. "I'm sure you are." He sips his drink. "It's just these events can be intimidating if you're not used to them. Lots of money in the room, lots of egos. I've noticed." He laughs, too loud. "I'm Jonathan Hayes," he says, extending a hand. She doesn't take it. "Diane." "Just Diane?" "Just Diane." He lowers his hand, still smiling. "Well, just Diane, if you need any help navigating the room. Introductions, that sort of thing. I'm happy to help. I know most of the people here." "I'm sure you do." There's a pause. His smile tightens. "So what brings you here tonight?" he asks. "The foundation," she says simply. "Ah," he nods. "Supporting a good cause. That's admirable." "Is it?" "Of course. Everyone should give back. Even if he stops himself." "Even if what?" "Nothing." He takes another sip. "It's just I've been doing this a long time. You start to notice patterns." "Patterns?" "People who show up to these things for the wrong reasons." Diane's grip tightens on her glass. "And what would the wrong reasons be?" Jonathan leans in slightly. His voice drops. "Networking, opportunities, access." He pauses. "Some people see a room like this and think it's a shopping mall." Her pulse quickens. "A shopping mall? You know what I mean." He shrugs. "Gold diggers, social climbers. People looking for a shortcut." The word lands like a slap. "Gold digger." Diane doesn't move. Doesn't blink. She just looks at him. And in that moment she makes a decision. She's not leaving. Not yet. The foundation director finally finds her 20 minutes later. "Miss Monroe," he says, breathless. "I'm so sorry. Traffic was a nightmare." Diane raises a hand. "It's fine, David. The award presentation is in 10 minutes. We're seated at the front table. I'll walk you." "Actually," Diane interrupts, glancing across the room. "I'd like to sit somewhere else tonight." David blinks. "But you're receiving the award. People will want to meet you." I, "Miss Monroe." "David," her voice is calm, final. "I'll accept the award, but I'd like to do it my way." He hesitates, then nods. "Of course." Diane sits at a table near the back. Jonathan is 3 tables away. He doesn't see her. He's talking to a blonde woman in her 30s, laughing, touching her arm. Diane watches and waits. The MC takes the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight." The room quiets. Diane's heart is beating faster now. She hasn't done this in 15 years. Hasn't let herself be seen in 15 years. But tonight she's going to remind the world who she is. Not for herself. For every woman who's ever been called a gold digger. For every woman who's been underestimated. For every woman who stayed silent because it was safer. And now, the MC says, "It's my honor to present our Humanitarian Leadership Award to a woman who has quietly transformed the lives of thousands of young women across this country. A woman whose generosity is matched only by her humility." Diane stands. The room doesn't notice yet. Please join me in welcoming the founder and sole benefactor of the Monroe Foundation for Women in STEM. Jonathan glances up from his conversation. His eyes land on Diane. Standing. Walking toward the stage. A billionaire entrepreneur and philanthropist. His face goes pale. "Diane Monroe." The room erupts in applause. Diane climbs the steps. She accepts the plaque. She stands at the podium. And she looks directly at Jonathan Hayes. His mouth is open. His champagne glass is frozen halfway to his lips. She doesn't smile. She just begins to speak. "Thank you," Diane says into the microphone. Her voice is steady. The room is silent. I don't usually attend these events. I prefer to work quietly. But tonight, I was reminded why visibility matters. She pauses. Because when we stay silent, we let other people tell our story. Her eyes haven't left Jonathan. We let them decide who we are, what we're worth, what we're looking for. Someone in the audience shifts uncomfortably. I built my first company in my garage. I was 29. I had $600 in my bank account and an idea no one believed in. I was told I didn't belong in tech. I was told I didn't understand business. I was told I should be grateful just to be in the room. She lets that sit. 15 years ago, I sold that company for over $1 billion. And I disappeared. Because I was tired. Tired of being looked at. Tired of being judged. Tired of defending my right to exist in spaces I built. Her voice softens. But tonight someone reminded me what happens when we make ourselves too small. She finally looks away from Jonathan. At the room. At the women watching her. So I'm here to say, take up space. Be loud. Be visible. And when someone calls you a gold digger, she smiles for the first time. Make sure they know you own the mine. The room explodes. Jonathan leaves before the applause ends. Diane finds him in the lobby. He's on his phone, pacing. She walks up slowly. "Jonathan." He turns. His face is red. I didn't." "I know," she says quietly. He stops. "You didn't know who I was, that's the point." "I'm sorry," he says. And for the first time he sounds like he means it. "Are you?" "Yeah." "Why?" The question catches him off guard. "Because I misjudged you." "You judged me," Diane corrects. "You saw a black woman standing alone at a charity event and you decided you knew exactly who I was. You didn't misjudge me. You didn't see me." He looks down. "You're right." Diane studies him. He looks smaller now. Older. Human. "Why did you assume that?" she asks. "That I was a gold digger?" He hesitates. "I don't know." "Yes, you do." He meets her eyes. "Because I've been burned before. By gold diggers. By people who wanted access to my money, my network, my life." "So you became cynical." "I became careful." "You became cruel," Diane says. Not angry, just factual. He doesn't argue. They stand in silence. Then Diane does something she doesn't expect. She sits down on one of the lobby benches. "Sit," she says. Jonathan blinks. "What?" "Sit." He sits. They talk for an hour. At first, it's stiff, awkward. But slowly something shifts. He tells her about his second divorce. How his ex-wife took half of everything and then wrote a tell-all book. She tells him about the years after she sold her company. How she didn't know who she was anymore without the work. He admits he's lonely. She admits she is too. He asks why she disappeared. She tells him the truth. "I thought if I made myself invisible, I'd be safe. But I just became alone." He nods. "I thought if I kept people at a distance, I'd protect myself. But I just became bitter." They look at each other. And for the first time they really see each other. But then Jonathan's phone buzzes. He glances at it. His expression changes. "I have to go," he says. "Okay." He stands. Hesitates. Can I call you?" Diane looks up at him. She wants to say yes. But something stops her. "I don't think that's a good idea," she says. "Why not?" "Because I don't know if you're apologizing because you're sorry, or because I'm rich." The words hit him like a punch. He opens his mouth. closes it. That's not fair, he finally says. Isn't it? He stares at her, then turns and walks away. Diane watches him go and wonders if she just made a terrible mistake. 3 weeks pass. Diane doesn't hear from him. She tells herself that's good, that she was right, that he only wanted to apologize because she embarrassed him. But late at night, she thinks about the way he looked at her in the lobby. The way his voice cracked when he said, "I became careful." The way he listened. Really listened. She thinks maybe she was too hard on him. Maybe everyone deserves a second chance. Maybe. Her phone rings. A no-num number. She almost doesn't answer. But she does. Diane Monroe? Yes. This is Vanity Fair. We're running a profile on Jonathan Hayes, and we'd love to get your comment on the relationship. Her stomach drops. What relationship? We have sources confirming that you and Mr. Hayes have been seeing each other privately since the gala. We'd love to hear your side. There is no relationship, Diane says sharply. So you're denying. She hangs up. Her hands are shaking. She pulls up her laptop, types in Jonathan's name. The first result is a tabloid headline. Hotel mogul Jonathan Hayes romancing reclusive billionaire Diane Monroe. Friends say it's serious. There's a photo, taken outside the gala. The two of them, sitting on the bench, talking. The caption reads, "Gold digger or gold mine?" Hayes finally meets his match. Diane's vision blurs. She reads the article. Anonymous sources. Speculation. Quotes from friends close to Hayes saying he's smitten, saying she's playing hard to get, saying it's the romance of the year. She feels sick. This is why she disappeared. This is why she stayed hidden. Because the moment you let people see you, they turn you into a story. She calls Jonathan. He answers on the first ring. Diane. Did you do this? Her voice is ice. Do what? The press. The story. Did you leak it? What? No? Then who did? I don't know. I swear I didn't. You're the only one who benefits from this. Jonathan. Mystery billionaire. Glamorous romance. Great PR for a man who needs to rehab his image. That's not what this is. Then what is it? Silence. I wanted to call you, he says quietly. Every day for 3 weeks. But you said you didn't trust me. You said you didn't know if I was sorry or just scared of you. So you went to the press instead? I didn't go to anyone. Then how did they know we talked? I don't know. But even as he says it, Diane realizes. The lobby. The security cameras. The staff. Someone saw them. Someone sold the story. And now it's out there. And there's no taking it back. I can't do this, Diane says. Diane. I can't be a headline. I can't be your redemption arc. I can't. Her voice breaks. I just wanted to be left alone. I know, Jonathan says. And he sounds devastated. I know, and I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. She closes her eyes. Goodbye, Jonathan. She hangs up. And this time she blocks his number. Diane spends the next week ignoring her phone. The foundation director calls. Her lawyer calls. 3 reporters camp outside her townhouse. She closes the curtains. She orders groceries online. She disappears again. And she hates herself for it. Because she fought so hard to be visible. And the moment it cost her something, she ran. On the 8th day, there's a knock at her door. She doesn't answer. Another knock. Miss Monroe, a woman's voice. My name is Claire. I'm a student at Howard. I received one of your scholarships 3 years ago. Diane freezes. I wanted to say thank you. For what you said at the gala. My roommate sent me the video. It's been viewed 6 million times. Diane's breath catches. I used to think I had to make myself smaller to survive in tech. But you reminded me that I earn my place. So thank you. Footsteps. The girl leaves. Diane walks to her laptop. She types in her own name. The video is everywhere. Make sure they know you own the mine. The comments are full of women. Black women. Older women. Women who said they cried. Women who said they felt seen. Women who said they'd been waiting their whole lives to hear someone say that. Diane reads every single comment. And she realizes something. She didn't just speak for herself that night. She spoke for all of them. And now they need her to stay visible. Even if it's hard. Even if it's scary. Even if it costs her. If this story reminds you of someone you lost or almost lost, share it with them. Diane calls Jonathan. He answers immediately. Diane, I need to ask you something. She says, and I need you to tell me the truth. Anything. Why did you really want to call me? Silence. Then, because you're the first person in 20 years who didn't want anything from me. Her throat tightens. You didn't want my money. You didn't want my name. You didn't even want my apology. He laughs, but it's sad. You just wanted me to see you. And when I finally did, I realized I wanted you to see me too. Jonathan, I know you don't trust me. I know I have to earn that. But I'm asking for the chance. Diane closes her eyes. I'm scared, she whispers. Me too. I don't want to be a story. You're not a story. You're a person. And I'd like to get to know that person. Slowly, quietly, if you'll let me. She's quiet for a long time. Then, no press. No press. No cameras. No cameras. And if you ever call me a gold digger again, I'll personally hand you the deed to every hotel I own. She laughs. It's the first time she's laughed in weeks. Okay, she says. Okay? Okay. They meet for coffee. Not at a gala. Not at a hotel. At a small diner in her neighborhood. He shows up in jeans. She shows up without makeup. They talk for 3 hours. About their kids. Their regrets. Their fears. They don't take a single photo. They don't post anything online. They just exist. Together. And it's enough. 6 months later, Diane gives another speech. This time Jonathan is in the audience. She doesn't mention him. But when she talks about second chances, about learning to be seen, about letting people in even when it's terrifying, she looks at him. And he looks back. And they both know. This is real. Thank you for spending this time with Golden Heart Stories. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe. Your support helps us keep telling stories that matter. Stories about women who refused to disappear. Women who took up space. Women who owned the mine. What part of this story stayed with you the most? Tell me in the comments.